For years, people have asked me, why do longtail mud motors not have gear reduction like surface drive? Well, the simple answer is it's never been available in the US until now. Well, kind of. And by kind of, I mean it's kind of not available for you, but it's definitely available for me because I got one right here. And it was sent to me all the way from Thailand because this company wanted me to send it. So what's the deal with gear reduction anyways, and why would anybody even want it? So longtails have never had gear reduction here in the US. They've always been direct drive. So whatever RPM the motor spins is whatever RPM the prop spins. I'm not a scientist, but have done a little bit of research on Google, and Google says that if you reduce the output of the motor by some type of gear reduction, then you can run a bigger prop and get more torque and possibly more speed. Now this has worked great in surface drives over the years. You look at Gator Tail, they come with a top pulley and a bottom pulley, and a lot of times that top pulley is a little bit smaller than the bigger pulley down on the bottom that actually goes to the prop shaft and allows them to turn a little bit bigger of a prop and gain just a little bit more speed but a ton more torque. I think it's called something like torque multiplication or some kind of rocket surgery. I'm not really sure. I can only assume that doing some type of gear reduction works well because there's a lot of people with surface drives that do it. And trust me, if there was anything in the world that could make a Gator Tail go faster, the Gator Tail boys will do it. Now you would think if the surface drive boys are doing it, the longtail boys would do it. None of the longtail companies here in the US have ever offered it, and it's not crazy popular where longtail mud motors come from in the first place, which is Thailand. Most of what we see on the internet from Thailand is the direct drive, just a prop on a stick version from Thailand, which is more in tune with racing. The only time I've ever seen any real gear reduction on videos from Thailand is where they have the really big transporter boats or cargo boats that are running some type of diesel engine or a V8 car engine or a V6 car engine, and they're using some type of transmission that came from a vehicle. Now there is one company that I know for sure of that makes a gear reduction unit for a longtail, and I know that because there's one right here. Let's see, this company is called CLP. So they were nice enough to send this gear reduction unit out to me for testing and so that I could play around with it and see if it's something that would be beneficial here in the US. Now the instruction manual they sent me was in Ching Chong Fing Fong, and because I can't translate fortune cookie language, I just had to do my best with Google Translate. From what I understand, this is a 4-to-1 gear reduction, and it is done through a worm gear. And from what I understand about worm gears is you have your output shaft coming out of the motor. There's one gear here, and then there's a set of gears inside this gear case that reduce it down to that 4-to-1. So for every 4 times the motor turns, the prop turns 1 time. And because of the gear reduction, they recommended that I run this big ol' honkin' 17-inch prop. Now everything in this kit they sent me is completely proprietary to this kit, except for a few small things. The mounting bracket is a lot beefier than your standard longtail mounting bracket, and it has this shaft support that actually bolts into the shaft here. The shaft is like twice the size of a normal longtail shaft. Of course, you got the gigantic prop. The gear case is filled with oil, which is very different. We're used to using grease with regular longtails. I was able to use the gimbal right here from my Beaver Dam longtail, and it fit just fine. Now it came with an adapter that fits a 390 Honda or a clone engine like the 420 Predator. Well, because they have the same output shaft size at 1 inch and the same bolt pattern, I was able to put this on my 670 Predator. It's just slightly modified. If you want to check out those very small modifications I did to make this motor run a little bit better, I'll leave a link to the video up here. Assembly wasn't all that difficult, even though I didn't really have the greatest instructions. It went together a lot like your typical longtail. You have an adapter shaft that goes onto the output shaft of the crankshaft on the motor. That has a splined output that goes into the splines on the gear case. Output of the gear case also has splines on it, which match up to the splines in the shaft. Slide them all together, throw a couple bolts on it. It really wasn't a difficult process at all. Now there was one slight modification I had to make, and it's not the fault of CLP. They just do things a little different in Thailand than we do. They sent me this as the handle, which installs about right there. And if I sat down while I peed, this would probably be the right height. But I don't. I like to stand up. I ended up using my Beaver Dam Mud Runner handle, but it didn't fit inside of this little mounting collar right here. This big old honking thing is like 1 3/8 inches outside diameter, and the Beaver Dam handle's like 1 1/8 inches. Well, what I figured out is the Beaver Dam handle fits inside of this handle right here. So I cut the end of it off and made a spacer. And that's how I got the handle to fit on this crazy little gear reduction longtail. That allowed me to stand up and operate this giant contraption, and that's more gooder. Well, with it all assembled, there's only one thing left to do. Take it to the water and give it a full send. All right, so when I was running this, the prop was wanting to pull up this side of the wake, but it wasn't bad. So like normally when I'm running this motor, I run like an 8.5 or a 9-inch prop, and a 9-inch prop at 4,500 to 4,800 RPMs wants to kind of ride up this side of the wake. So this is a pretty common thing that I've had to do on all my mud motors. It's just part of running long tails. But all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this skeg and I'm gonna bend it just slightly over to the right. A little bit more than that. There we go. That should help keep it driving straight. When we were out at the lake, before we got into the river, I was only able to run about 48 to 4,900 RPMs is what it was settling in at. As soon as we got up here in the river in skinny water, and I say skinny water, it's 2 inches right there, and in the middle is probably only about 2 foot. But once we got up here in the skinny water, the shallower the boat got, the more RPMs I was able to run. So when we were coming up that last little section right through here underneath the bridge, I was running 51, 5,200 RPMs, and so far so good. So we're gonna keep playing with it and see what it does. Now for reference, this motor, this exact motor with a Beaver Dam longtail, 100-inch shaft, and an 8-inch prop with just me in that exact same boat runs 19 miles an hour, 20 if I hold my mouth just right and I kind of like lean forward a little bit and I'm in super shallow water. We'll just say 19 because that's what I've been able to get on video was 19. This setup went 16 with me in the boat, with 2 people in a boat, and I also tested it with 3 people in a boat. It always goes 16 miles an hour, which is interesting because with a regular Beaver Dam longtail, even going down in prop size, adding a second person to my boat with a regular longtail, my speed drops from 19 to about 16. And if I add a third person in the boat, I drop from 16 down to about 14. So does the gear reduction work? Yup, it works really well. And talking to Beaver Dam and CLP, I come to find out that they actually use this on the 390 Honda, which is a 13 horsepower Honda motor. So what they use over in Thailand on those long, like 30 and 40 foot rice boats. And the reason that they use it is because it can move really, really heavy loads in a boat with very small engines very efficiently. Also, in talking to them, I kind of figured out why my speed was so low with this large of a motor. Because remember, this thing's only made for the 390 or 13 horsepower Predator or the 13 horsepower Honda over in Thailand. I got like a 22 plus horsepower V-twin here. You would think it would go a lot faster. Well, the reason it didn't go any faster is because I needed to go up in prop size. Something around like probably 20 to 21 inches in prop is what I would need to get a little bit more speed out of this. And I can tell you from firsthand experience with the 17-inch prop, going straight, no problem. Turning, big problem. Turning that much prop in the water at Anything above half throttle was not impossible, but it required a lot of force. With my normal longtail, I can just kind of lean and pull the tiller where I want to go, and it drives just fine. You know, doing your normal turning going down a river. With this thing, it was like, pull as hard as you can. It took a lot of effort. So here's the answer to the big question. When's this coming to the US? Not anytime soon. For two very important reasons. One, things kind of expensive. By the time this gets imported into the US from Thailand, pay the tariffs, pay the shipping fees, warehouse it here in the US, take orders and ship it to a customer, this thing would cost almost triple, if not more, than a regular longtail. And seeing as how people already complain about longtails being expensive as they are now, I highly doubt anybody's going to want to buy this at 3 times the price. Reason number 2 is it's really going to be our boats here in the US. We don't have boats that are built like the boats over in Thailand. Most of theirs are very narrow and very long. That's how they're able to get any kind of speed out of these things and carry the load capacity that they have. Unfortunately, we have an amazing government with this super awesome thing called the United States Coast Guard. And I don't think the Coast Guard would let us do probably about 90% of the stuff they do in boats over in Thailand. What we have is John boats and aluminum boats and mud boats that are made out of aluminum that look kind of like John boats. And they're wide and not very long. And because of our wonderful US Coast Guard, they have a very limited capacity. Now, this joker is heavy. Between the shaft, the giant prop, the motor mount, and the gearbox, this thing weighs over 150 pounds by itself. So you ain't gonna be strapping this on your 1436 and putting 3 guys that run into a duck hole with it. My 1648 with pods handled it, but not great. Overall, we have motors that do what this does here in the US. They're called surface drives. Not only are they a little bit easier to change the gear reduction in by swapping pulleys, they're a lot easier to drive. They're much more like outboards than this thing, which is like trying to drive an 18-wheeler with no power steering. But who knows, maybe one day this can be a thing here in the US. If CLP wants to import them and there's enough interest in them, maybe that's something they'd be willing to do. I don't know. If that's something that you think you would be interested in, or somebody that you know would be interested in, leave a comment down below and I will relay that message over to CLP right after I use Google Translate to convert Cajun redneck over into whatever they speak in Thailand. What's it called? Thailandish or something?
Send It video would not be complete without some time in the Haters Corner. I've got my haterade, so here we go. Now, if you're not familiar with the Haters Corner, what we like to do at the end of every video is stand in a corner and see who was the most butthurt in the comments over the last couple of videos. Because it has been proven in recent videos that people on the internet are super sensitive. We don't use their real names, we just call them Scooter. Our first Scooter left a comment on my video where I took a 10-foot John boat and we saw how fast it would go with a bunch of different kind of mud motors on it. Scooter writes, golly, this is the dumbest I've seen this week. I've seen a lot, apart from looking in the mirror. Congratulations and get a boat, not a bathtub. My horse did not like the lube either. Yeehaw. You know, I bet this Scooter could identify a window based on taste alone. How are you going to get in my comment section and tell me that this is the dumbest video you have seen all week, and then you end the comment with, my horse did not like the lube? WTF. I can only imagine this is one of those scooters that drives in the rain with their hazard lights on. Why does the horse need lube? Or why did you even bring lube to your horse? I have so many questions, and I don't know if I want the answers to any of them. Our next Scooter left a comment on my Amazon battery review video, where I bought the cheapest battery on Amazon and it ended up failing, and I took it apart and showed everybody why it failed. So watch that entire video, and this is the comment that Scooter left. Scooter writes, why are you wearing a strap-on beard? I can assure you, Scooter, it is a real beard. It is not a strap-on. See, no strap. I'm assuming that since Scooter watched my entire video all about lithium batteries, and the only thing he could find to comment on was my beard, that Scooter probably doesn't have one. Do you know what you call men with no beards? Ma'am. I swear, over the years, I have taken so much crap in the comment section over my beard, and I just don't get it. It's always comments or jokes about, why do you have a strap-on beard? Why do you have a fake beard? Or it's like the complete opposite. It's like, what terrorist organization are you a part of? I just don't get it. I do have a joke about terrorists, though. What do you call a swimming terrorist? A bath bomb. Our next scooter left a comment on my recent video where we talked about the company that was threatening to sue me if I didn't take their video down. I did a review on one of their mud motors. It was a very long video. It's like 30-something minutes long. I read the email that the company sent. The whole video was just nothing but, about mud motors and this potential lawsuit. In that video, I was talking about my net worth and like if they wanted to sue me, they were going to get nothing anyways. And I talked about my truck. It's an '03 Dodge Ram. It's really old, but it still runs. I love my truck, but it ain't worth nothing. Scooter wrote, I am shocked. I didn't know third gen Dodge Rams could go to 300K miles. Smiley face emoji. I just want to make it in the haters corner. Well, congratulations, Scooter. You are officially here. Scooter, you can hate on my single cab, old piece of junk Dodge truck all you want, but everyone knows that the only reason you buy one of those new fancy trucks with the extra doors, I think they call them 4 doors, but the only reason that men buy those is so that they can take their boyfriends on a double date and have plenty of room. So I'm assuming that since he's making fun of my Dodge, that he's either a Ford or a Chevy guy, and I got jokes for both, but there's really no point because I've seen how you Ford and Chevy boys look at each other in the Home Depot parking lot. Yeah, we all know y'all eat corn the long way. Our next scooter left a comment on the same video. We're talking about the potential lawsuit. Make sure you got your tinfoil hats on for this one. It's going to be a ride. Scooter wrote, in all caps, by the way, Scooter wrote, I used to use John boats because I spent most of my life in Arkansas and loved fishing. It is my opinion that you should have exposed the name of the company and the name of that crybaby Karen that sent you the letter. It is also my opinion that you should have inflated your assets and your net worth so that Karen would be more inclined to file a lawsuit against you. If nothing else, the legal cost to his company would maybe teach that punk, in parentheses, a prison term for a male that sucks dick and gets pounded in the and washes the dirty underwear of his man, gets put under pimp's arrest by other brothers when he gets away from his assigned area and gives every dime his people send to him to his man, in parentheses. Yes, I've done 10 years in prison and I was a man 24/7, 365 for 10 years. And I absolutely hate the weak punks. I've seen too many YouTubers take down videos because some Karen threatened them with lawfare. I think that taking down a video because of a threat is an act of cowardliness. And if someone attempts to sue me, they should first understand that I was diagnosed 50 years ago as a psychopath, and they have to be able to show up to court in order to win their case. And as I have commented on carbon pipeline laws to gain access to build a pipeline across people's property, the number 1 target is the CEO, and the number 2 target is the lawyer that filed the suit. You sell me a crap product and then sue me because I call your product crap, you won't need burial insurance because they will never find your body. And to be legally declared unalived to collect the life insurance takes a very long time without evidence that you are unalive. That might mean the wife and children left behind might not get a dime of life insurance for a very long time. These are the kind of people that watch my videos. And I am so proud of each and every one of them. Thank you for the comment, Scooter. I'm glad that you made it out of prison okay. I hope that one day I get to meet you in person so that I can take you on a trip, like to the beach. We can have a beer and talk about life, because you sound very, very interesting. Speaking of beaches and oceans, did you know that peeing in the ocean is just like farting in a tornado? If you didn't, now you do. You're welcome.